Call to order the meeting of the Morgantown Planning Commission. I guess I'm going to, since we have some visitors, I'll abbreviate the pre-meeting announcements here. We'll have a comment period for those wishing to speak about matters that are not on the agenda. We'll have old business from previous meetings and then move on to new business. The petitioner makes a presentation. Those in favor are allowed to speak for up to 5 minutes. Then we'll ask for those in opposition to the application to speak. The petitioner then have time for rebuttal. The business will be, or the public portion will be closed then, and we'll go on to our deliberations. All right, so general public announcements. Anything? Nope. All right. So anyone want to speak to items that are not on the agenda? All right, hearing any, we'll go to unfinished business. Map 2579, Jennifer Tucker, 401 Van Gilder. And in front of us are a little change in the application compared to what's in our packets. So.
Yeah, Mr. Vice President, can we have a motion to remove this item from the table?
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you. As the Vice President alluded to, the applicant is here this evening, and there has been a revision since we last spoke or met about this issue. The applicant is now proposing to rezone the property at 401 Van Gilder to an R2 as opposed to an R3 after considering all the requirements and setbacks on lot coverage provisions that we had mentioned last time. Just to briefly go through that, this is the location of the subject site there at the intersection of Protzman and Van Gilder. And you can see this is the city's zoning map. The area highlighted in red is the parcels to be rezoned. Directly across the street from the parcel is the R3 district, and you can kind of see over to the bottom left-hand side, two other zoning classifications of a B1 and an R2 zoning district amongst the R1A. This is a location, Google Street View of the site, and here's another aerial using Near Map to show the location. And that will conclude staff's report.
Thank you. I guess we're going to offer the applicant an opportunity to speak again if they have any additional information to present.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Is anyone here in favor of the application that wants to speak? Hearing none. Anyone opposed to the application that wants to speak? Please identify yourself.
I'm Barb Howe, 432 Riley. I don't know if I'm opposed. Last time I know you had a time for people just to say something.
Sure.
So, since I didn't hear you announce that. My back property is just at the corner of the 200-foot radius, so I am in the county. I appreciate first Mr. Yeager's responses to my questions, which are probably seeming endless to him, and I assume he has shared those questions and responses with you. Like Councilor Michael last time and Jane Lefevre and other neighbors I thought were coming tonight but haven't come yet, our concern is traffic and parking as it has been all along with this process. Since it's been changed to R2, I assume there might be less demand for parking and fewer number of units. So my question, which I don't know if you had an answer yet, was, is a driveway and a garage two places or one? And that would, I guess I thought that might be an easy question, but apparently it wasn't an automatic answer. So that kind of determines to me if we had 8 units, 2 bedrooms, 16 cars, 12 parking spaces would be pretty tight in that area. I know there's this, you probably are aware of all the townhouses being built at McCullough and Hoffman, which are outside city limits. I know you had nothing to do with any of that. But if we're looking at traffic, that's going to add an enormous amount of traffic to that intersection because there are only 2 ways out of there, McCullough, which is basically an alley, and Hoffman. So again, you had nothing to do with that determination, but it's, as we look at the overall traffic patterns, the neighbors are very concerned about what's going to happen to that. I know a lot of my questions can't be answered until you see a site plan, like will access be off of Stewart or will access be off of Van Gilder? Any decision to have access off of Stewart would be incredibly dangerous. I assume they're not considering that. Left turns into that area from Stewart are a accident waiting to happen every time. So, again, there's too many unknowns for me to say what I support or oppose at this time, but I do appreciate your considering the questions of the neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in opposition or any other comments to this application from the public? Hearing none.
Staff updated recommendation to, for the commission to move for council a recommendation that the proposed R2 zoning designation is consistent with the city's comprehensive land management plan.
Okay, just for clarification, could you discuss the parking regulations for R2?
Yes, so again, and this is clarification to Ms. Howe's comments, but again, the land use drives the determination for the parking requirement, not the specific zoning district that it's in. And whether that's multifamily or two-family, each part of our code has a different code requirement. So if this property were eventually rezoned, the applicant would still have to come back and do site plan review, and at which time all of those considerations would be reviewed by staff. And if the project could not meet the code requirement for off-street parking, they would have to go to the city's Board of Zoning Appeals to get a variance relief for that, which would allow the community to engage in another public process again, like the one tonight.
Might I ask another question?
Sure.
Concerning the access to this proposed development, there is no access from Stewart Street to these properties, correct? My understanding is
Yes.
the piece of property that we're looking at the corner of Stewart and Van Gilder is owned by the city, and we have no intention of releasing that. It's my understanding we're holding that for any kind of potential future realignment of that intersection.
Correct. And in this picture, the city's property would be right here at that intersection here. Yep.
So access to these properties would have to go off of Van Gilder.
At this point, yes.
Any additional questions?
Well, I just have a point of order. The gentleman that just joined us was looking for parking, and I just want to make sure if you came out tonight to talk about this particular case, if the chair would give him an opportunity if you wanted to speak. I didn't want the parking lot to keep you from participating.
Well, that's a nightmare in itself. I think after certain hours at night, there should be free parking for the citizens, be able to go downtown Morgantown and shop, where the business owners can flourish.
Wrong board, sir. Wrong board. Wrong board.
We'll tell you what.
Yes, I've been living.
Go ahead and please identify yourself. Go ahead, you can speak.
I'm William C. Pell, P-E-L-L. I live on 640 George Street, Morgantown, West Virginia. I'm here to review the information that you're trying to get it rezoned, this piece of property. And I do understand that a certain parcel is owned by the city. And I would assume you will not give a right-of-way for entrance and so on and so forth. Now, if you notice, go back onto the street itself.
Oops.
You'll see that the parking is very, very limited. There's always anywhere from 9 to 10 cars parked in front of those apartments. And you will also see the yellow lines there, where no one is able to park. So if you look across the street where I would assume it's going to be a duplex, quadruplex. I've been out of town, so I'm kind of don't know everything what I'm talking about here, but I will say this. That area is very limited for parking. So if you have just say if it's a quadruplex, 2 bedrooms each. I don't know what's been proposed, but there are usually 2 bedrooms in each unit, or 3. So if you have 2 people in each unit, that's 2 cars. If it's 3, it's 3 cars. So if you put 2 or 3 units in there, getting in and out of that area, when you come up at Prossman, hang a right to get on Van Gilder, they're gonna run into each other. Not only that, you got new development off of Hoffman. I don't know how many units are going up there. So you, not only those 10 cars, but has anybody looked at how many residents in that area? How many cars they've got? So it's a real problem with parking issues. So you're authorizing a rezoning for that piece of property, it should be R1. Family, period. Any questions?
No, just a point of clarification. So right now, we're just talking about the zoning part.
Okay.
As the planner said, if there's a proposal for what's going to go there, then they have to deal with parking. And they'll have to have parking, at least partly, some parking is part of the on-site process. What that is not for us to determine today.
So we're looking at rezoning on it, correct? That's what we're looking at tonight?
The question is
Yes.
whether the rezoning application is consistent with the comprehensive plan. That's the legal
Yeah,
question
yeah.
that we're faced with.
So yes, just the rezoning
And at
today.
this point, where do we stand on that?
Well, you've had your comments. This is not a public debate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, thank you for participating.
All right.
So I just wanted to emphasize and thank the chair for re-emphasizing that the parking requirements for a development on this site will follow and be regulated by the city code. So this is another step and really not what's before us. What's before us is R2, consistent with the comprehensive plan, and I agree with staff, I think it is. So I would vote to recommend that this be approved and send it forward to city council with that recommendation.
I would make that motion to approve as staff set out in the staff report.
I'll second that motion.
All right. Any discussion? Order. Those in favor? I'd just like to make a note. I know we talked about this last time, but I really think we need to look at this area on the comprehensive plan, because I'm fine with this being R2 right here, but not beyond it on this street. And right now, it's open for that, so.
Yes, sir. Staff noted that as well as you move east from Prospect, absolutely.
Right.
Mr. President, if I may, since Ms. Howell, I believe your name was, I don't think that, just given the dimensional requirements of that property, that anything more than 3 tops of units would be able to fit on that property. So what was shown in that in the staff report is highly unlikely going to be on that property. So I don't think it's going to have much of a parking problem as if what's shown in the application. So we understand the public's concern about the parking, but we do also think it meets the comprehensive plan as well.
All right, thank you. All right, let's go on to the next application. And those of you who want to leave, please do so quietly. You don't have to stay for the second one. So this is a new business item, map 2588, Jacob Godfrey and Edgar Babylonia, 452 Height Street.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. So again, I'll follow from the screen, and the pictures and other commentary is in your packet. But this image basically shows where the property is located, the pre-existing non-conforming multifamily use at Height and Madison. This map shows the city's zoning map, which you can see all around is R-Way, R1A. We'll show another slide in a moment, but there's one parcel that's adjacent to the park to the, I believe, on the west side of that picture, that is B1. Again, here's a picture looking at Madison and Height at the front of the structure. Here's another looking up from Madison, looking up at the existing structure. When looking at the land use management plan, it identified it as medium intensity residential. which includes all the land uses on the compatible use types on the screen there, which includes single-family, two-family, and multifamily residential opportunities, as well as mixed use where appropriate. And that's important. In the description in your packet of medium-density residential, it needs to be neighborhood scale, house scale. So 3-4-story buildings going in as multifamily would definitely be discouraged here. But if it is in keeping in the character of the neighborhood, the future land use map says those opportunities should be considered going forward. This is a map, and talking to the vice president earlier, this is a map of the property. It's located here at the top middle of the screen, and sorry, that's reflecting right back at my face. But anyway, there's the property. All the stars that you see on that map are what we have, just doing a dashboard survey again, identified as either being two-family or multi-family residential units. The red star over here is that B1 property that's located next to the park here. So just to put into context, that whole area is zoned R1A, but there are already many pre-existing non-conforming uses already in existence on this property.
Could you zoom in on that a little bit? It's pretty wide. I mean, it's going a few blocks over from Dorsey and.
Let's see. 1 second.
You're asking a lot of this mouse.
We have
I've seen it
technology,
in
but.
action, and it's not,
Ah, he's got the magic going. Okay.
So again, here's the site. This is the B1 designation. This is an existing mixed use with 3 units on top. And if we go up to Dorsey, multifamily, two-family, multifamily, multifamily, multifamily. So again, they're more clustered to the north, obviously towards the main arterial in town, but just wanted to show throughout that neighborhood, there are other examples of two-family dwellings or multifamily dwellings, and this probably doesn't capture everything.
And are those of the similar size? This one's a pretty small size. So, I mean, are those other ones of similar
The lots
acreage? Yeah.
The lots are all regular, and especially the ones up at Dorsey in height, they're all, they'd all be considered, I think, non-conforming lots in terms of their size for an R1A district. Not knowing them off the top of my head, if you look at these, we'll just zoom in here again. Irregular shaped lots, small lots. Some do have off-street parking made available to them, whether it's compliant with the city zoning code now, I'm not sure of that, but just wanted to put this as a reference that there's other non-conforming uses already in this general vicinity.
Some of them in better shape, obviously, than others. That's a concern to me, like some of them, they just.
Oh, it made me start over, sorry. Let me click through here real fast again.
Right. All right. All right, so we're ready for the applicant?
Yeah.
My name is Jacob Godfrey. I'm the owner of Alexander Rentals, as well as Granny and Pumpkins, Morgantown Kitchen and Bath, and various other companies here in Morgantown. I'm here on behalf of Height Street. The main things I want to touch point on are a lot of things, but I'm going to keep it to the point as much as I can. With this being said, going over some exact things, this building we're going over has been vacant for over 10 years. There's been multiple trespassers, there's been nothing but drug use, the place has been overran, it's nothing but a nuisance. There's a bus stop directly outside of this where kids from South Middle School, directly down the road, get dropped and picked up. The building is now structurally sound. There is multiple people telling me it's unsound. I mean, we'll get it, it's completely structurally sound. So with that being said too, I also have significant interest I put in this building with an investment put in. We've already cleaned up the building, we put new windows in, we have put new ACs in, we've done multiple things. We had permits pulled for the building, which at the time there was a new person coming in for zoning, and we found out 6 months later that it's not gonna conform. So it's something, you know, where I guess they don't talk, not my problem, I guess it is my problem. So the biggest thing too, I think the city knows and needs is the need for affordable housing. We need affordable housing, I think you guys have touched on that. So right here too, I'm not trying to change the structure of the building. it was built as a threeplex. There's no staircases that were taken out. There's an entry through one way, an entry through the next. There's 3 separate meters. There are 3 separate water meters. All I'm asking is for the same intent the building was used as to be now. With that also being said, the affordable housing, touching back on that, I had touched base when I talked to Mr. Yeager back when, I think about a year ago, year and a half now it's been a long time.
About a year.
You know, my full intent with this building from the beginning was affordable housing. And I've had multiple comments where HUD is going away, this and that. HUD is not affordable housing. That is a way of a stipend. There's multiple other programs that we accept. It's just a certain price that's under the market value. That's what we're saying by affordable housing. The current red tape, I've gone through this, where I've met with the city multiple times. Mr. Yeager, I've been with him 3 or 4 times. It's just never clear. It's always and or, it's always this or that. It's never been clear until recently. My intentions from 2 years ago when I purchased the building was affordable housing, and it remains the exact same. The economic benefits are you're going to get more housing right up the street from the school, where a bus stop is, and property value is going to increase instead of a drug-ridden building sitting at the corner of 2 intersections of a main street, going to our schools, going to our playgrounds, where I play kickball every Sunday.
Thought you looked familiar.
Yes. So I'm very into the community. I drive by it a lot. So the ask to call action is one of the next points I have. I'm not asking for any special treatment. I'm just asking for a clear plan when I come and sit before the city in planning. This is only one example we could go on. I could sit at this mic for hours. I have hundreds of properties where I have outstate of money coming in, and we have halted on doing properties in the state or in Morgantown just because of a lot of the red tape we have seen with the smaller stuff. And opening new companies. Right there with the old Photo Superior building specifically. I bought the building, bought actually everything around it too, and it has been nothing but red tape. I'm sure you guys are familiar with what I'm talking about. So, with the whole thing, we finally have our CEO, and now we are up for business providing quality products to the citizens of Morgantown and surrounding. With all of this said, I could continue again, but I'm extremely invested in my community where I'm born and raised, and I continue to reside where my family will grow. I have a young daughter. I have a lot of my guys who are families and friends who a few came with me, and we absolutely we're committed to it. Not only with an investment, but with our heart and force. So, with all that being said, this is all I can say, but I would just like to also touch on the code. It makes no sense. This is an example. I could go on a field trip now, show you 40 other properties that are the same thing. What's the plan? How do we stop this? And if I'm coming in and other people are too, we should work together instead of it going out 2 years. So with all that being said, thank you, and I hope that you all can help us create more affordable housing, which is needed.
Hang on a second. Do you have anyone have questions for the
I have a
petitioner?
quick question, Mr. Godfrey. What would be the timeline and timeframe you're thinking if, we were to grant your request? How soon would you think the property would be ready?
So the middle and the top unit currently are already ready. They just need the staircase put back on, which we were working on that next, and then we got a lot of roadblocks, but until we came here, we stopped it. The middle unit has brand new cabinets, granite countertops. I own a granite company, we still put it in. We put in brand new flooring, brand new hot water tanks, brand new electric, brand new plumbing. The places, to answer your question, for all 3 could be done within 4 months. So with that, it's very fast. We've had a lot of red tape, which going through, and then dealing with a few other problems, but we could get that done very fast. So the middle unit was already inspected by HUD, and we had a tenant ready to move in until we realized we weren't able to get our CO when this whole thing transpired, whenever, what's his name, was hired 2 years ago, the zoning, help me out, please.
Mr. Bonner, or are you talking to Mr. Thompson?
Sailor.
Sailor. Well, Sailor, thank you. After Sailor came in, that's where it all went, so, yes. So with that being said too, I can just give you guys more examples. So what's the plan? I mean, let's sit here before you guys, I'm showing you the workforce, I'm showing you where I have a track record of things I've done too. So we can get things accomplished together, but we need to work together. I don't have time, my investors don't have time to sit for 2 years on a bigger property projects too. We'll go to multiple other places in Star City, Westover, would sit down and talk with us, hear us out, try to work with us instead of 2 years, here we go. So, any questions? I'm an open book. We're open for business and I'm always there. You guys can sit down. I'm sitting in my conference room anytime. I'm well informed, I'm an open book. I want to see the town succeed. That is the goal.
I'd love to talk to you more. I'll reach out to you.
Please do. Please do. Come down. I'll see a kickball. Hopefully we beat you.
Hang on a second.
Well, and we do have a letter from a concerned neighbor about, in regards to the parking. And as a First Ward resident myself, you know, personally, I'm in favor of buildings being developed rather than set and unoccupied with whatever. Yeah, but we do have a letter of concern from one of the neighbors opposed to, she stated the building of a multifamily establishment. It's already built. But she was worried about construction, about parking for residents of parking on Globe. Obviously, it's tight over there. Parking is an issue all over the city.
Let's say it's,
Yeah, this is no upset, different, but I didn't know if you had any comments in regards to someone that would be concerned about, limited parking.
Yeah, I mean, it's no objection it's no hidden thing that Morgantown has a parking problem. I mean, it's just a fact. It's what we've given. I mean, we can tear down the whole city. So with that being said, the structure's there. People find their parking. Half the tenants that we're renting to for that building don't have cars. The lady who was coming in didn't have a car. She was taking a bus that came right there. She was walking. It's close. That's what it's for. So with that being said too, off-street parking, just like Great Avenue where I have property, just like Pearl Avenue where I have property, I mean, it's the same thing. They will figure it out. So just as she does, where she rents there next door. I know she is, and we absolutely have talked to her. She came next door, and I told her if you ever have a problem with the dump trailer or anything parking, we can move it at night. I'm as simple as just come, have a conversation. We want the community to upgo. We're not here to make a problem. We're here to uplift and make a difference and impact.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you, Mr. Godfrey. Appreciate that.
I had just curious for the history of this building. I would assume it's the second or the middle unit there. Was this building ever used as a commercial building that you were aware
I believe
of?
at one point, I know the exact history of the grocery store at one point.
Okay, that's what
I
it looks
believe
like.
was. I've heard a lot of cool stories.
Yeah,
So I believe it was a grocery store at one point, the middle floor, yes.
sure, okay. Because I would say, this is probably just our general conversation and not necessarily directed at you or anybody, but that just going towards this rezoning and having it multifamily or two-family, that this is in scale with what the neighborhood is. I don't think, this is used to be multifamily, as in it has multiple families living there, not necessarily a large apartment building or anything. And it is unfortunate about the parking. I do think any type of construction would be temporary, and unfortunately, it just kind of goes with the territory. I'm happy to hear that you are willing to work with anybody who's upset, but I'll save any other comments about the building, but I was curious about that, so.
Yeah, I mean, if the guy next door wants to sell me the lot for not a crazy price, I'll buy it to him for the parking lot. So,
Sure.
but none of us can force that either.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, anything that makes sense, we're willing to take it on. I'm buying 550 Brockway as well too. They're doing the same thing. I'm doing affordable housing there. So I'm committed. I'm here. And my doors are open. I'm inviting you guys. And I think Ricky, as you know, I've come down, we've met multiple times. I don't have time for it. I don't have time to sit down and not get an answer. Let's be real. Let's try to figure out how we can go forward. There's problems at hand. You let this stuff sit. Let's go over here. We'll show you more needles. I mean, what do you guys want to do? So with all that being said, I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you very much. I'm a realist, so sorry for being blunt, but it's just the way I am. So thank you.
All right. So anyone that wants to speak for the project, please come forward. Go ahead. Please state your name.
I'm Scott Frederick. I'm a 35-year resident of Morgantown. I've lived in First Ward. I've been in my house for 26 years. I'm all for it. We do need affordable housing. And I know that Ricky is a fan of infill housing. and we could even speak more, but I'm just gonna stick with the subject tonight. It was built as intended to be a multi-family residence. And I think any and all examples of this should be allowed to go ahead and be built as it was intended. I mean, I understand that if you're gonna change the character of the neighborhood or tear the house down and take advantage of the zoning of that particular lot, I would be opposed to that. But to use the structure as it was intended, even if the grandfather, state of it has fallen because somebody didn't have the drive that he does to take on a dilapidated property and make it nice. I've seen his work. He does excellent work. In fact, we need more people like him in town to do things like this. So I encourage you guys to go ahead and just allow this to happen, and you'll be amazed at the results that you'll see. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Any others in favor? Wants to speak? Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, everyone who's in favor can just like raise their hand. Yeah, like-
My name's Tyler Rudash. I had a bunch prepared, but Jacob pretty much covered all of that. I just want to say that I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't work for Jacob. I'm just a resident of Morgantown my entire life. But I'm all for seeing the community improve. And as the previous gentleman stated, he's not, changing the look of the community. He's just improving an existing structure. So I'm here to support it.
Thank you.
About it.
Anyone else?
My name's Zach. I do work for Jacob Godfrey. I've known him since about 5th grade. Just one thing I'd like to add is if this did not get pushed through, it's something where I don't think it's within the budget to add staircases inside and to change it to a single family use. And I would say we just continue to stay vacant, and something we would either get sold or they would just stay empty. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, anyone in opposition to the application? All right, seeing none?
Staff found that the proposed zoning map amendment to be consistent with the land use management plan and recommends that recommendation be forwarded to council.
All right, discussion?
I would just say that it's unfortunate that to hear about the red tape. We certainly love hearing from Scott and just other builders in the community of what you're doing and trying to make affordable housing and get this project off the ground. So I think we all would commend you for both of you, or all of you involved in this.
We're a team.
Yes, right. Right.
A lot of guys aren't here, but it's a team effort.
Sure, and so we appreciate what you're doing. I do think as far as meeting the comprehensive plan, that, having an infill project is an affordable housing type of project is something that we would, are looking for. I know too that technically if we grant a rezoning, that's no way guaranteed that this would be, this project goes forward as tomorrow you could change your mind, want to do another project or demolish this structure. But I find that highly unlikely to happen, just given the constraints on the property. It beats a comprehensive plan, so I'm in favor to approve as staff recommended.
I will say I was skeptical when I read this, but after the presentation, you have changed my mind. So I'm glad that you had the opportunity to present the project to us.
Just to speak to Mr. Williams' point, I really hate doing all of these rezonings. I do see them as spot rezonings. I hate that we have to do those for things that have historically been used as intended. I do think we could be opening ourselves up to a future use. Again, it's not what the project is now, it is what would be allowed in that zone moving forward. That being said, I'm fully in favor of this. I'm not speaking about this project specifically, but Deputy Mayor Butcher and I had a conversation with Director Yeager the other day after being alerted to some social media comments. And I, right now, have in my email as of 4:46 this afternoon, the city attorney has drafted a non-conforming use optional process for revival of abandoned uses. I do not think that we should have to rezone every property that has been vacant for a year and a day. If we agree that this is someone in the city, whether that's us or staff or council, needs to be able to have the discretion to say, yeah, move 3 families back in there. That is less detrimental to the neighborhood than this building falling over. So just wanted you all to know that that will be coming before us, I'm sure, for review, because that is something that we have asked our director and our attorney to work on.
As you know, on social media posts, I got a big following of people who believe in us.
Not this appropriate. Is it possible to have a stipulation that the zoning change is contingent upon that building remaining as it was built?
Not really.
Mr. Chairman, my motion,
He'll come back with some more.
I move to forward the application with a recommendation to City Council that the proposed amendment is consistent with the comprehensive plan.
Second.
Those in favor? All right.
We'll see if we can help you with the
Good luck with your
process
project.
moving forward.
Thank you guys, thank you. We hope to now we'll have the council go from there.
Thank you.
We will be back with you guys with a lot more projects now after this meeting, so we'll be moving forward on more. Thank you all for your time.
I want to talk to you sometime about East Brockway.
Absolutely. If anyone in here needs stuff in Morgantown Kitchen and Bath, is open for business.
See you guys.
The advertisements are done. All right, any committee reports? Committee reports? None. Staff comments?
Just a few staff comments. One, just to update the commission, we've engaged a consultant to help update our sign ordinance. Our Board of Zoning Appeals is overwhelmed with applications for sign variance relief, and we need something that's streamlined and simplified. So we're going to be addressing that here later this year into the new year. And what we're going to plan to do is to work with both the Planning Commission as well as the Board of Zoning Appeals, because they get charged with the enforcement side of that, and kind of work together to, if we're going to put a new ordinance in place, that we adhere to it and give everybody some comfort and expectations in terms of what to expect. So that's moving forward. Also, just want to thank you for all the work that you do. The mayor and council on Tuesday declared the month of October as National Community Planning Month. So Mayor, thank you for the proclamation. Just want to thank you guys for all your time. I know reading these, sifting through these, and the late meetings we have, you're taking a lot of time away from your family and friends. So we just appreciate all your efforts. And that will conclude staff's comments.
All right,
Move to adjourn.
Second.
so moved.